The end of the year is a time for reflection and renewal. For many, it is an opportunity to review what has happened over the past 12 months and set new goals for the future. But how can you ensure that this annual review is truly effective and that your planning for the next year doesn't just become a list of resolutions forgotten in a few weeks? The key lies in making an honest and detailed evaluation of what went right, the challenges faced, and most importantly, learning from those experiences. Instead of simply repeating the goals from the previous year, how about using this review to create a plan that truly reflects your values and deepest desires? In this guide, you will learn how to transform the annual review process into a powerful tool for your personal and professional growth and how to plan the next year so that each goal becomes a tangible reality. Are you ready to begin this journey of self-discovery and conscious planning? Let's go. The annual review of your life begins with an honest reflection on the year that has passed. Before thinking about the future, it's crucial to look back and evaluate what worked and what didn't. Start with the victories. What did you achieve throughout the year? What were the moments of greatest satisfaction and pride? Writing down these victories, big or small, helps to recognize the progress you have made, which reinforces confidence and motivation to keep moving forward. For example, if you manage to achieve an important goal at work or develop a new healthy habit, these are aspects that deserve to be celebrated and recognized as milestones of success. But the review wouldn't be complete without also looking at the challenges. What obstacles did you face? Were there goals that were not achieved? Identifying these challenges is essential to understanding what can be done differently in the next year. Instead of feeling frustrated or discouraged by unmet goals, see this as a learning opportunity. Maybe the goal wasn't well defined, or the resources available weren't sufficient. The key here is to be honest with yourself, without judgment, and use these experiences as a springboard for future growth. In addition to victories and challenges, it's important to reflect on how you felt throughout the year. What were the moments when you felt most aligned with your values and purpose? Conversely, when did you feel you were veering off course? These emotional reflections are just as important as tangible achievements because they help you understand what truly brings satisfaction and meaning to your life. At the end of this review, you will have a clear vision of what the past year has brought you, both in terms of accomplishments and lessons, preparing the ground for more conscious and focused planning for the following year. Are you ready to dive into this reflection on the past year? In the next step, we'll explore how to identify what you really want to achieve in the coming year. But before moving on, reflect. What were your biggest victories and challenges in the last year? After reflecting on the past year, it's time to look to the future and identify what you really want to achieve in the coming year. Setting clear goals is essential to creating an effective and focused action plan. Start by asking yourself, what is most important to me in the next year? This can involve different areas of your life, such as career, health, relationships, or personal development. Write down everything that comes to mind, without censorship. This is the phase to explore your deepest ambitions and desires without worrying, at this point, about feasibility or the details of how to achieve them. Once you've listed your desires and goals, the next step is to prioritize them. Not everything needs to be done at once, and trying to tackle too many goals at the same time can lead to burnout and frustration. Therefore, ask yourself, which of these goals are truly essential? Prioritizing means choosing those that will have the most significant impact on your life, or that are most aligned with your values and purpose. For example, if you want to advance in your career and also improve your health, consider which of these areas will have the most significant impact in the next year and start there. Once you've identified and prioritized your goals, it's time to turn them into specific and measurable targets. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, define something like, I will exercise 3 times a week and eat more vegetables daily. Specific goals not only make your objective more tangible, but also make it easier to track progress throughout the year. This clarity is what will drive your actions and ensure that you're on the right path to achieving what you desire. By the end of this process, you will have a clear and organized vision of what you want to accomplish in the next year, with a renewed and focused approach. Have you already defined your goals for the next year? In the next step, we'll explore how to create an action plan that will help you turn those goals into reality. But before moving on, reflect. What are the goals that really matter to you in the next year? With your goals for the next year clearly defined, the next step is to create a detailed action plan that makes those goals achievable. An effective action plan involves setting specific steps and a realistic timeline for reaching each goal. Start by breaking down your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. For example, if your goal is to save money for a trip, break that goal into steps like setting a budget, reducing expenses, and establishing a monthly savings plan. This step-by-step approach makes the process less intimidating and easier to follow. In addition to breaking down the goals into steps, it's important to set deadlines for each of these tasks. A well-structured schedule helps maintain focus and discipline throughout the year. Set dates for each step and regularly review your progress to ensure you're on the right track. For example, if your goal is to learn a new skill, set deadlines for completing courses, practicing regularly, and applying what you've learned. Having these dates in mind creates a sense of urgency and accountability, which increases the chances that you'll stay committed to your plan. Another crucial aspect of a detailed action plan is flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and it's important to be prepared to adjust your plan as circumstances change. This doesn't mean abandoning your goals, but being realistic and adaptable. If an unexpected obstacle arises, revisit your plan and make the necessary adjustments to keep progressing. Remember, success isn't about sticking to the plan rigidly, but about achieving your goals, even if the path to them turns out to be different from what you initially imagined. With a detailed, flexible, and well-structured action plan, you will be prepared to turn your goals into reality throughout the next year. Do you already have a clear action plan for the next year? In the next step, we'll discuss the importance of regularly reviewing and adjusting this plan throughout the year. But before moving on, reflect. How can you structure your action plan so that it is realistic and achievable? An action plan is essential, but it will only be effective if it's reviewed and adjusted regularly throughout the year. Life is constantly changing, and what seemed like a realistic goal at the beginning of the year may need adjustments as circumstances evolve. Therefore, it's important to establish specific times to review your progress. These reviews can be monthly or quarterly, depending on the complexity of your goals. The purpose of these reviews is to assess what is working, identify what needs adjustment, and ensure that you're still on the right track to achieving your goals. During these reviews, it's essential to be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, am I progressing as planned? If not, why? If you identify that certain strategies aren't working, don't hesitate to adjust them. Flexibility is key here. For example, if you realize that you're not sticking to an exercise schedule because it's too strict, it might be time to adjust it to something more feasible. The important thing is to maintain the determination to keep moving forward, even if that means changing direction to better suit your reality. In addition to tactical adjustments, these reviews are perfect moments to reflect on your motivation and purpose. Reaffirm to yourself why these goals are important and how they align with your long-term values and dreams. This reaffirmation process helps keep motivation high, especially when things get tough. Remember that progress is not linear, and it's okay if you need more time or a new approach to reach your goals. The important thing is that by regularly reviewing and adjusting, you stay committed and proactive, ensuring that by the end of the year, you'll be closer to your dreams. Do you already have a regular review system for your plan? In the next step, we'll explore how to maintain motivation and discipline throughout the year to ensure you reach your goals. But before moving on, reflect. How can you incorporate these reviews into your routine to ensure that your plan remains relevant and effective? Maintaining motivation and discipline throughout an entire year is a challenge, but it's essential to ensure that you achieve your goals. Motivation is what starts the process, but discipline is what keeps it moving, especially when the initial enthusiasm begins to wane. An effective strategy for maintaining motivation is to constantly remind yourself of why you set these goals. Write down your reasons in a visible place where you can review them regularly. This serves as a constant reminder of the purpose behind your efforts, helping to renew your determination when things get tough. Another important technique is to celebrate small victories along the way. Each goal you achieve, no matter how small, is a step toward your big objective. These celebrations help keep motivation high, reinforcing the sense of progress and success. For example, if you've reached an intermediate goal, such as saving a certain amount of money or completing a course module, take a moment to acknowledge this achievement. This not only reinforces discipline, but also makes the process more rewarding, helping to maintain momentum throughout the year. Finally, it's essential to have a support system that helps you maintain discipline. This can include friends, family, or colleagues who share your goals or are willing to encourage you on your journey. Joining groups or communities that align with your interests and goals can also be an excellent source of support and motivation. Additionally, reviewing your progress with someone you trust can offer new perspectives and insights, helping to identify areas for improvement. With renewed motivation and a strong sense of discipline, you'll be well prepared to face the challenges of the year and achieve the results you desire. Do you have strategies to maintain your motivation and discipline throughout the year? In the next step, we'll talk about how to adjust your expectations and be kind to yourself during the process. But before moving on, reflect. How can you ensure that your motivation and discipline remain strong throughout the year? During the process of reaching goals over the course of a year, it's natural to face challenges and setbacks. Therefore, adjusting your expectations and being kind to yourself is essential for maintaining balance and well-being. Often, people set extremely ambitious goals without considering the variables and unforeseen events that may arise. Throughout the year, it's important to revisit your expectations and adjust them according to the reality of the moment. This doesn't mean giving up on your goals, but adapting them to ensure they remain achievable and realistic, avoiding unnecessary frustration. Being kind to yourself also means recognizing that progress is not linear. There will be days when you're more productive and others when things don't go as planned, and that's okay. Accepting these ups and downs is part of the process and helps maintain a healthy and positive mindset. Instead of blaming yourself for moments of lower performance, use these moments as opportunities to learn and adjust your approach. Self-compassion is a powerful tool for maintaining resilience and continuing to move forward, even when things get tough. Additionally, it's important to celebrate not only the achievements but also the effort. Recognize the value of each step taken, even if the results are not yet visible. By being kind to yourself, you create an internal environment of support that makes it easier to continue making progress, even in the face of challenges. Remember that the journey is as important as the destination, and taking care of yourself along the way is key to ensuring that you reach the end of the year not only with your goals achieved, but also with a sense of personal accomplishment and satisfaction. Have you been adjusting your expectations and being kind to yourself throughout the year? In the next step, we'll explore how to conclude the year with a final review and prepare for the following year. But before moving on, reflect. How can you be more compassionate with yourself on the journey to achieving your goals? At the end of the year, it's important to do a final review to assess what was achieved and what still needs to be worked on. This review is not just a reflection on what went right or wrong, but also an opportunity to celebrate your accomplishments and learn from the challenges faced. Start by revisiting the goals you set at the beginning of the year. Which were achieved? Which are still in progress? Which needed to be adjusted? By answering these questions, you gain clarity on your progress and can identify patterns of behavior and areas for improvement for the next year. In addition to evaluating the goals, this final review should also include a reflection on your personal and professional growth. How have you changed over the year? What skills have you developed? What important lessons have you learned? These insights are essential to understanding how the year contributed to your overall development and to planning the next year with a more enriched perspective. Recognizing your growth, even in areas that were not initially planned, is a powerful way to close the year with a sense of accomplishment and purpose. The final review also offers a chance to adjust your plan for the next year based on the lessons learned. Maybe some goals need to be carried forward, while others can be restructured or replaced with new priorities. This flexibility is essential to ensure that your planning is dynamic and adaptable to changes. Concluding the year with this review not only closes the cycle positively, but also establishes a solid foundation for what's to come. With this clarity, you can enter the next year with renewed motivation and an even more aligned strategy with your goals and values. Have you prepared to do your final review of the year? In the next step, we'll discuss how to prepare for the following year based on the reflections made during this review. But before moving on, reflect. What can you learn from the past year, and how can this shape your next year? After conducting a final review of the past year, the next step is to use those reflections to plan the following year more consciously and strategically. The lessons learned and the achievements reached over the previous year serve as a solid foundation for setting new goals and adjusting your approaches. Start by revisiting the insights gained during your final review. What worked well? What needs improvement? What new opportunities have arisen? Use these answers to guide the setting of realistic and aligned goals with your values and ambitions for the next year. When planning the next year, it's also important to consider the balance between different areas of life, such as work, health, relationships, and personal development. Often, focusing on a single area can lead to imbalance in others. To avoid this, ensure that your goals encompass all the important areas of your life. For example, if you concentrated too much energy on work in the previous year, it might be helpful to set goals that include more time for physical and mental health or for strengthening personal connections. A balanced plan ensures that you grow holistically and sustainably. Another crucial aspect is flexibility in your planning. While it's important to have clear goals, it's also essential to be prepared for adjustments throughout the year. Circumstances change, and new challenges or opportunities can arise at any time. Therefore, when creating your plan for the next year, include spaces for review and adaptation, allowing you to stay on track, even when things don't go exactly as planned. This flexible approach not only reduces stress, but also increases resilience, enabling you to continue moving forward confidently, regardless of obstacles. Finally, as you conclude the planning for the next year, keep focused on the larger purpose behind your goals. Remember that each goal should contribute to your personal and professional growth in a meaningful way. With a well-structured, balanced, and flexible plan, you will be well prepared to make the next year the best of your life so far. Are you ready to start planning the next year? With that, we conclude our journey on how to conduct an annual review of your life and plan for the following year. But before closing, reflect. How can the lessons from last year guide your decisions for the year ahead? Ending the year with an honest review and planning the next with clarity is more than just a practice. It is an act of commitment to yourself. Now that you have the tools to assess your progress and set goals that truly matter, what will you do next? Remember that success doesn't come just from big leaps, but from consistent and well-planned steps. Be kind to yourself during the process, celebrate your victories, and learn from the challenges. And to continue evolving, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way, you'll always be one step ahead, ready to make the next year the best of your life. Together, let's turn your goals into real achievements.